All right. I got 14 minutes. One, two, three, and action. All right. So, boom, 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 boom. So more or less, I have lived in the same area for quite a while in Houston, and um, I have been mentoring at my old high school. I would say probably like 8 or 9 years, probably about 8 years. We get a new group of teenagers, like sometimes every semester, sometimes every school year, and it's like the one thing that I've been doing for the last 8 years that really just kind of, it's been really difficult, but it's always like very rewarding. It's always a thing that really makes me feel like I am having an impact, and without even realizing it, these kids are impacting more of my life than I feel like I'm impacting them. It's this really cool program. We get to go to this high school in during one of their class periods, and we go through a curriculum of life. It stands for labor, influence, forgiveness, and experience. And it's a few other guys or a few other people in our community that go every week. Um, and we got a new group of kids this past semester, and we went down the line and we introduced ourselves, all the mentors, and we talked about a little bit about ourselves, and also what we have going on, or like why we're doing this, why we think it's important. And so it's like five of us, and I ended up going second, and then I just started riffing, and I just went on to kind of explain. It was like a really cool moment. I just went on to explain my upbringing. I grew up in probably one of the roughest neighborhoods that's zoned to their schools, in probably the roughest street. They all know the street. They all know the neighborhood, and so I immediately get street cred, or whatever it is you call with these kids. And I just began sharing how I felt like I wasn't seen when I was that age, and it led to me making a lot of bad choices, selling drugs at 12, and just making a lot of mistakes. And I started kind of speaking really close to home, and I started sharing, like, no matter how much you feel like your life has gone south, you know, if you just keep going and you just hang on, you are just on the other side of it, and you'll look back at your life and you'll see that if you gave up, you were just so close. And you'll look back and you'll see just like exactly when you broke through, and when you didn't give up, and when you kept on going. And I was really kind of just sharing to myself, and I just really was speaking from a place of I guess being hurt, being broken, and trying to encourage myself. And as soon as I stopped, just like everyone started clapping, and I just felt like this is the energy that I needed to release and give to these students. And I hope that one of them, goes back to that moment. And I shared too that, when I was in middle school, some of my teachers really took the time, and in elementary school, really took the time to speak to us, and to let us know that our lives do have meaning and have an impact. And so I kind of spoke from that area, and it felt great. It felt like it's something that I needed to do. I've done like motivational speaking in the past and things like that, but I felt like such a low place, letting them know, like, hey, don't give up, just keep going. And me just doing a marathon in January, and going through, um, going through a separation, and then my car being totaled, and just like I feel like I was speaking to myself. And I guess this is kind of part of this sharing here, is really feeling like I, I have so much inside that I just need to let out. And um, it's been rough. I don't know what's next. Um, I don't know even where to go from here or what to make of this. Um, a couple years ago, I fell in love with this term liminal, and it in like scenes, it's kind of like a lot of negative space. It's like an empty hall or stairwell or something like that. But what all these things have in common, it's like a threshold. It's like an in between place. And liminal is kind of like not yet there, but yet not here. It's kind of the in between. And I kind of feel like that in my life. I feel like I'm, you know, leaving a relationship, not knowing what's next, uh, really trying to do everything in my power, to not lose my house, to not. Um, I feel like it's the only source of, um, like it's the only thing that's familiar to my kids, um, and I feel like that's worth fighting for. I was pushing my daughter on the swing set in our front yard, and it made me think, just like, man, no matter what I have to do to fight to keep this, for her, for me, and for my community too. This is my community where I've set roots, I've made an impact, and I feel like at times, man, I don't know if I should stay in Houston if I'm going to continue to doing film production. Like, I love Houston, but I don't know if it loves me back. And I don't want to make the wrong choice. I hope, the whole thing with 50 Cent and the studio here picks up, and work continues to pick up, and I can continue to call this place my home. And so it's just kind of like a lot going. It's like a storm. And I feel like if I don't get a run in, it'll just kind of take over. um, but this is the season that I'm in. It's in the in between. I don't know what's next. I don't even know what I just left, honestly. I just know that I'm on the threshold, and it's eerie. Um, I've never been here before. But maybe you're feeling like that. Maybe you're feeling like you're in the in between, in a liminal space, that's eerie. You haven't arrived, and you just know that you've left somewhere. In Spanish, you say, "No soy de aquí, ni soy de allá." I'm proud of my heritage, but I'm also very proud to be an American. But that statement basically means that I'm not from over there. I'm not from here. I've never been Mexican enough for the Mexicans. I've never been American enough for the Americans. And that's not to like vent or whine or anything like that. It's just to realize where I'm coming from, and I guess an attempt to be seen, is I guess why I'm doing this. I don't know what's next, but I just know that I have to keep one foot in front of the other, right? I have to come up with, you know, all this money every month so I don't lose what I have, in hopes that work picks up. And I'm even trying to find other jobs and all this stuff, but all I know is that no one's coming to save me. And I have what it takes. I can handle it if I just put one foot in front of the other. If I just take one more Uber trip a day and work constantly. I'm putting in like, 70 to 80 hours a week, just to try to keep up. And also it's like realizing, taking like extreme ownership, this is all my fault. The only one that can be blamed is me. But with that is, I'm also the only one that can fix it. If I just keep going, if I don't let up, if I don't stop, I know that this won't last forever. 70 to 80 hours a week won't last forever. But it's where I'm at right now. And maybe that's where you're at right now. And maybe we just have to eat shit. Take responsibility for our actions. Yes, maybe it's not our fault. But take responsibility for our actions and move forward. And I think about my father. I love him and I care so much about him, and I've made amends with whatever it is that or what happened in our past. But like, I get to run. I get to run almost every day. I get to run almost every day, and let's see here. Like this week alone, or this month. This month I've ran 35 miles. And it's March 10th or something like that. I don't know what it is. But I've run 35 miles, and what's really cool is that my father lost his leg when my mother was pregnant with me. He was assaulted in Spring Branch, and someone tried to steal his belongings and shot him in the leg so that he wouldn't chase after them. And my father was a go-getter. He grinded, and he was ambitious. But after that, it spiraled him into, I guess, a depression. He was embedded for 5 years. And, we struggled a lot. They turned to drugs and alcohol, and, who knows the shit that they went through, right? I can't fault him for those things. He did the best with what he had. And I hope that my children can say that one day. But my father lost his legs. And I feel like now I'm running because of that. Like, I get to experience that because of what he went through. Like, I get to run a marathon for him. And I have a sister that passed away. She drowned at a very young age. She was our oldest sister, and I get to live. She passed away, but I get to live. And whatever it is that we're going through, we're lucky. We're lucky to get to experience this life, even though it is shitty sometimes, and it seems very dark. But we're the ones that get to breathe and experience this life and make the most of it. So just hang on. Put one foot in front of the other and grind it out. No one's going to come save you. No one gives a shit. It's on us. We have what it takes to get out and to prove to ourselves that we're enough. Peace.